Hello, good afternoon. You're watching Midday Live from the News Hub. My name is Portia Gabo. Coming up. Former Director General of the Police CID, DCOP Brightdraw, denies reports he deals with land guards. We'll go to the Ashanti region where police opened a daily guide office in Kumasi after a group locked it up in protest over a publication which alleged the Asante Hene had been involved in money laundering. Coming up in international news, a senior member of Kenya's Electoral Commission, Roslyn Akombe, resigns and has fled to the USA. We have details coming up shortly. Do stay with us. In our very first story, former Director General of the Police CID, DCOP Brightdraw, has denied reports he deals with land guards. Speaking to my colleague Komla Kluche, DCOP Brightdraw insisted he has never been involved and given an opportunity to clear himself of the allegations made against him.
A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Brightdraw. Now, did you see this as coming?
Thank you, my brother. I did not see anything coming. And just to elaborate a little, I should have proceeded on leave on the 30th of August this year, but I stayed on because nobody was posted there to take my place. And as has been the case of other officers, they used their leave to work. And so I was thinking that I could also use my leave to work up to 3rd January when I would have retired. But that wasn't the case. On the 13th of this month, early morning I was told by the IGP to hand over and proceed on my leave. And that came as a shock because I had never expected that I would be asked to proceed on leave when I would finally retire on the 3rd. So I began to probe. I asked him why that decision, and he said it was cabinet decision. And so I proceeded to ask a few questions, but he had no answers to provide at the time. Later I did my own investigations, and I found out that they said there were so many complaints about me, and Japan's tantrums, especially against me, were also responsible for that decision of cabinet, if I may say so. And so really I wasn't prepared. The decision came as a shock because I have had a remarkable career. I don't think it's good enough for somebody who has done 29 years in the service to be handed something so sudden. I think it's a raw deal.
Now, you mentioned Kennedy Japan. He is a very vociferous politician. He's made very scandalous allegations against you. One of them, the fact that you had been dealing with Langas, your friends. There was a need to clear you out of the system, so I mean things will become normal when it comes to land deals. The allegations of you dealing with land guards. Did you deal with land guards, and to what extent did you deal with them?
The point is, who are the land guards? Kennedy Japan sit on the radio, sit on what do you call it, TV, and lambast me for having deals with land guards. He failed to mention one single land guard. The only person that he referred to, I think on Thursday, also was Awala Sarichi. Awala Sarichi I know because he has cases at the CID headquarters
Your name has been battered. You feel let down. If you do, how do you intend to fight for the reputation you have built over the years?
I think I'm giving you an interview. A lot of the media houses, they have also spoken to me. And I'm laying bare the facts as I know. And I think that will clear me. Because if my accusers, the point is, who are the accusers? They are peddling falsehood over there about me. Who has said that I have done this to him? Who says that I have organized land guards to come and attack him? Who says that Mr. Brightdraw has not handled his case well? I don't get it. And I should have been given the opportunity to respond to these complaints and allegations that they claim are there. Where are the complaints? Where are the allegations? Who are behind the allegations? And what investigation did they do to conclude that in the middle of the leave, I should be axed?
Well, just yesterday, the Police Management Board appointed ACP Mame Yatiwa Adudankwa as Acting Director General of the CID. She takes over from COP Brightdraw, who has been asked to proceed on leave prior to his retirement. ACP Mame Yatiwa Adudankwa had previously headed the Police Command and Staff College and moved to the Ministry's Divisional Police Command to PIPS within 7 months before becoming a Deputy Director General of the CID. She was at the center of corruption allegations leveled against 2 Deputy Chiefs of Staff by musician A+. She is alleged to have asked the musician to drop corruption charges against the 2 government officials in an audio that went viral. She subsequently defended her position, indicating that parts of the audio were doctored. Let's now go on the phone line and speak with Stephen Kwabena Ato. He is the Executive Director of Governance Watch. Good afternoon, and thanks for your time, Stephen.
Yeah, good afternoon, and good afternoon to all your viewers.
Good afternoon. And you have raised some issues with regards to the appointment of ACP Mame Adudankwa. What exactly are your concerns?
Yeah, thank you once again. As you rightly stated in your caption, we are all aware of the outcome of the investigations that the CID unit of the Ghana Police Service did concerning corruption allegation issues that were referred to the office by the President. In the report they brought out, they clearly vindicated the 2 Deputy Chief of Staff who were alleged to have been involved in corruption. We thought this had settled the issues, although there were some individuals in society who really doubted the credibility of that report. Then, a couple of days after, there was an audio recording that was released, which contained facts that the said woman, the Assistant Commissioner of Police, and the then Deputy Director in charge of Criminal Investigation Department activities, was alleged to be the person on that tape. And the reason also being that the woman in question admitted having had conversations with the A+, that's Kwame Obeng. Kwame Obeng A+ also admitted having had discussions with the woman, except for the woman to state that the tape recording was doctored. As you and I are talking today, none of us know which part of that tape recording is doctored. Now, we are much concerned about the content of that tape, so long as we can know which part of it is attributed to her and which is not attributed to her. But also based on the fact that she has admitted a discussion, meaning that a portion of that tape is credible. Now, if part of the tape is indicating that, look, the people are your people, drop this issue of having said this and make it this, automatically helping the complainant to conceal facts and evidence that would implicate the individuals in the report they placed. We think this casts a greater doubt on the work of the Ghana Police Service. Now, to wake up to hear that such a person who has not taken any steps to clear herself of any corruption charges or corruption allegations, to become the head of an institution she was acting under as a deputy director, which brought out a report that has cast a lot of credibility issues on the service. Looking at the motto of the Ghana Police Service, which indicates service with integrity. Do we believe, as people of this country, that tomorrow, if another allegation of corruption is referred to her office, and she investigates it and puts that report out, and it doesn't confirm corruption against the individual, the people of Ghana will take that report serious? And we believe that that is a recipe for disaster for this country. Because you see, we are not only looking at the fact that it is only going to be issues of corruption and allegations. There could be a case of murder of an individual. And you know, investigations are supposed to be carried out by the police. Now, if a family should put their case before her and it goes not in favor of the family, do you imagine the implications of people not taking justice in their hands?
Now, Stephen, I understand you are sending a petition to the Inspector General of Police. When are you doing this?
We are just finishing. We are just putting the finishing touches on the petition. I'm sure by close of this week, you would have been notified that that petition has been submitted. And once we are done with that, we'll definitely make sure that TV3 has a copy. And if we are given the opportunity to speak again on the content of that report or on that petition, we will do that.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Ato is the Executive Director of Governance Watch. You're still watching Midday Live. Let's now go to the Ashanti region, where on Monday, operators of VIP buses at the Asafo Neoplan station clashed with STC over loading at the terminal. The Regional Security Council met on Tuesday and has directed STC to halt operations there for the time being. Ibrahim Abubakar has been speaking with an official of the GPRTU on what they make of the outcome so far.
The Asafo Neoplan bus terminal after a near clash between staff of STC and some transport operators here at the terminal on Monday morning. Now the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly directed STC to discontinue with their operations here for further investigation. As you can see, STC has indeed abided by the directive and have suspended their operations here. Yesterday there was a meeting between the Regional Security Coordinating Council, the management of STC, and leaders of the GPRTU here in Kumasi. Now the meeting has ended. The regional minister is officially about to brief the media. STC management have been tight-lipped on the meeting as well, outcome of the meeting. But I have with me here the GPRTU leaders here who were part of the meeting yesterday, and I will be finding out from them the outcome of the meeting. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yesterday you met with the Regional Security Coordinating Council and management of STC. We were told that STC have been told to discontinue with their operations here. How true is it?
It's precise. You are right. They've been told to suspend the activity till the matter is completely resolved. And I want to use this opportunity to thank the regional minister for the good work he is doing together with the Regional Security Council, how they've been able to calm down the situation.
For how long did they tell you the investigation will last?
The way things are going, and even with the rate at which STC is cooperating with us, I think we were thinking of about a week or two, but it's not going to last as such. I don't think even it will be up to 1 week.
Now, you've been protesting the coming of STC here strongly. Some would say you fear competition, that's why you are doing this. Is that the case?
We are not afraid of competition. And I've been always saying that STC cannot compete us in a sense that in terms of capacity, you see, we have more than about 10 times as the buses. So, under no circumstance can they compete.
Thank you very much. You've been hearing from Professor Dr. Lukman Owusu, who is the Public Relations Manager of GPRTU here in Kumasi, and he is also the board chair chairman of VIP. He's saying they are welcoming the news to suspend the operations of STC here, and they are also hoping that STC also devise strategy of improving or growing their business rather than coming down here. My name is Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim Abubakar. Let's now focus on cybersecurity in the country. And Ghana is set to ratify the Convention on Cybercrime, also known as the Budapest Convention, by the end of 2017 to enhance the country's resolve to combat cybercrime. The National Cybersecurity Advisor, Albert Enjubu-Isiako, said the document for ratification was at the Cabinet awaiting approval. As of December 2016, 52 countries had ratified the convention, while further 4 states had signed the convention but are yet to ratify it. Let's now go on the phone line and speak with Albert Enjubu-Isiako, who is the National Cybersecurity Advisor. Good afternoon and thanks for your time.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Portia, and also to your viewers.
All right. Now, with regards to the Budapest Convention, the last time we did engage you, you said it was at the cabinet level. What's the latest update so far?
Well, I think we had an event that was last week when the National Cybersecurity Week, which is coming up next week, was officially inaugurated. And the question that came in was, how are we addressing cybercrime from international dimension as a country? And I did indicate that, of course, one of the international instruments, international mechanisms that the government is pursuing through the Ministry of Communication and other stakeholders is to get the Budapest Convention through for ratification. And in fact, this is the only internationally binding the convention as far as cybercrime is concerned. And the Ministry of Communications has submitted this to Cabinet. Of course, Cabinet will have to arrange to meet on that, but the indication is by the end of the year, we should have the document through. I think that's the most important thing. But it's before even the document is fully ratified, the Council of Europe is engaging with this country, and a lot of capacity building initiative has taken place within the last few months, primarily training for the judicial sector. We're talking about the judges, the prosecutors, and investigators, because we have Electronic Transaction Act 772, which is one of the brilliant documents that allowed Ghana to qualify to accede the convention. I mean, this is the background. Before any country, any jurisdiction can accede to the Budapest Convention, it has to have certain legal framework that has to be consistent with that international convention. So Ghana qualified, and I think that is a credit we should give to ourselves as a country. But there's one thing, I mean, coming out with the legislation, and there is another level of also operationalizing the law. And that is why we are getting assistance from the Council of Europe to make sure the key stakeholders within the criminal justice system are aware of the legislations, and then they can effectively implement them to address our cyber issues.
Now, Albert, the issue of cybercrime seems not to be going away anytime soon. In Ghana, we know of mobile fraud, and we do understand that 50% of these cybercrime cases occur at the individual level. So what can individuals and businesses do to protect their data?
Thank you, Portia. I think I do appreciate the background, and that is exactly the kind of information that we should send across. As cybersecurity is a joint venture, if I should call it that way. In other words, you expect individual responsibility, to safeguard our cyberspace. Because the user, the user behavior has a huge impact on our cybersecurity as a country. And I can reference to recently the global attacks on WannaCry, Petya. We had certain countries, advanced countries, which had good systems in place, but just a user clicking a malicious link or downloading a malicious attachment alone could trigger such a global incident. So individually, it is good that we look at the risk from individual angle. I have purchased a device. I'm using a mobile phone to do mobile money transaction, right? And then you receive a message, for example, somebody has sent you a message and say, look, transfer this amount of money to this number and then redeem a certain benefit. Or somebody say your cousin, who is called Anita in the UK, has sent a part, pay this amount of money and deliver. I think a basic due diligence of calling to find out whether indeed somebody has sent that one.
Thank you very much. Albert Inchuboiseko is the National Cyber Security Advisor. Let's go back to the Ashanti region, and workers of the Kumasi office of Daily Guide were stranded this morning after a group locked up the office of the private newspaper in protest over a publication by the paper which alleged that the Asante Hene Otumfuo Osei II had been involved in money laundering. The group, the Kumasi Youth Association, threatened not to allow the offices to be opened until the paper retracts the story and apologizes to the Asante Hene and his subjects. Well, prior to the lockup, there had been statements issued by the group warning the media to be circumspect in their reportage concerning the alleged money laundering case, which was first reported by the UK press. In the report, a staff of the Ghana International Bank in the UK got sacked for depositing £350,000 in the Asante Hene's account. And in the Ashanti region, we do understand that the police had to be called in to restore order over there.
Thinking for now, let us ask them to come. I know they will come. If they really exist, they will come. But they're saying we are invited them to come to us. We will talk to them.
All right. So that has been.
Let's now go on the phone line and speak with our Ashanti regional correspondent Ibrahim Abubakar. Good afternoon and thanks for your time. Now, the police is saying that they have asked the group to report. Is it that the police does not know their identity? I understand we have lost Ibrahim Abubakar, but you're still watching Midday Live from the News Hub at Adessa Wakanda. We have more news coming up shortly. To stay with us. Hello again, it's now time for business, and residents at Risk Junction, Medina are demanding the immediate relocation of a filling station called Lone Gas. Residents who appear visibly apprehensive and scared say the siting of the filling station could explode due to some safety issues. Well, the residents were extremely disturbed about the siting of the filling station. They were worried due to the atomic junction gas explosion. A similar case could occur. They indicated that more than 8 gas tankers come to offload gas daily without safety precautions. Meanwhile, the LPG Association of Ghana is expected to cut down activities of filling stations to ensure that they all operate in the required standards.
Meters from them, and at night when something happens here, my family and I will be the first. I have about 51 shops here. They are selling everything from latest foam to engine oil, anything. We are afraid, even especially what happened at Atomic Junction. That day we were afraid that maybe it will come to their place, so we ran.
And the LPG Marketing Companies Association of Ghana says members will be shutting down all operations today to enable them undertake what they call major maintenance works on their stations nationwide following the gas explosion at the Atomic Men's Gas LPG station on October 7. Government subsequently, after a cabinet meeting, announced the implementation of the cylinder recirculation model. Let's now go on the phone line and speak with Bernard Kwame Owusu. He is the Public Relations Officer of the LPG Marketing Association of Ghana. And good afternoon, Bernard. Thanks for your time.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me as well.
Now, Bernard, why have you waited this long in order to do maintenance?
we have not waited this long. Then probably you could also ask that probably why has some authority also waited before probably trying to close our lips down as well. But you know, we've done this in the supreme interest of Ghanaians, especially when it comes to the delivery of LPG in a safety manner. So it is not just about the timing. It's about the interest of safety as well.
Now, how would you react to the suggestions by some members of the public that this is a deliberate attempt to frustrate the supply of gas, especially the fact that some of your members kicked against government's implementation of the recirculation model?
Well, it cannot be the case. Actually, what happened was that, you know, as an association, we called for an emergency meeting to deliberate on the cabinet directive. It was at this meeting that the issues of most of our outlets, as of now, we're counting close to 30, being closed down by the NPA. So upon interactions, we realized that there were some criteria or measures that the NPA and the other authorities were using to probably shut our people down. So we decided that we'll do what we call an internal scrutiny and maintenance exercise, where we constitute a technical team to do an audit and integrity check of our operations on our own, so that it won't be the case that MPA would have to come and close an outlet down, which will come with fines and penalties as well. So we've done this out of necessity. We've done this in the interest of safety. We've done this because we think that the time is appropriate, the time is now to do all these things. So it is not deliberate to just maybe shortchange Ghanaians and to decline from serving our customers with our product.
The supply of gas is going to be affected. Why didn't you do it in phases instead of nationwide?
That is the issue. As of now, if we were in the know of the itinerary of the NPA audit team, probably we could have done that. But as of now, we are getting news that our outlets are being shut down all over the places. So we decided that to forestall all those things, we would ask our members not to go ahead with delivery of LPG until they get some certification, some go ahead from our audit team, from our task force. So it is not as if we are doing it just to probably prevent Ghanaians from accessing LPG.
All right, thank you very much. I have been speaking with Bernard Kwame Owusu. He is the Public Relations Officer of the LPG Marketing Association of Ghana. Still on this issue, the students of the University Professional Studies have petitioned the president following the sighting of a filling station behind the school. Well, the petition to the president is to appeal to him to act after a gas explosion near the Atomic Junction killed about 6 people, injuring more than 100. Now, the president of the students' representative joins me in the studio to give me details, and I have Justice Gaduga. Justice, good afternoon and thanks for your time.
Good afternoon.
You have petitioned the president. What do you want him to act upon?
Okay. Good afternoon to the good people of Ghana. Actually, the self-filling station is sited just close to University of Professional Studies. It actually shares a wall with the school, and our lecture block complex is so close to this self-filling station that if any explosion occurs, so many lives would be at danger. And another issue is that is the major lecture block that every student of UPSC studies on. So and on every day we have more than 3,000 students coming for lectures just on the Justice Aite building, and it's even not close to 6 meters from the building. So should any explosion occur and there are accidents, students of UPS's lives will be in danger.
Now, just last week, we had representatives from the NPA over there. You also had a meeting with owners of the station, and it did come out that they met all safety requirements.
No, please. It didn't come out that they met all safety requirements. Because first of all, before you site a filling station, before EPA and the bodies regulated to grant you the permission to site a filling station, you have to do a stakeholder consultation so that the stakeholders will consent or they will agree to you citing the filling station, so that in the near future, when any issue occurs or any problem happens, you know that the stakeholders agreed before you cited the filling station. But it happens that UPSS was not consulted at all, which means that the students that are the major stakeholders, or UPS that is the major stakeholder in this citing of this filling station, was not consulted. So should anything happen, we don't know who is going to be held responsible. And another reason why we are complaining is that this filling station is sited at a nodal point. That is, 2 roads converge there. So there are 4 roads that meet at this filling station. And it has come to our notice that even there has already been an accident at the place. A vehicle has run into the filling station already. And should there be any offloading of fuel and should there be any accident, there can easily be an explosion. And our back gate is where this filling station is located. So students also use the back gate, and it's also close to our new auditorium that houses about 4,000 students and the new mosque that we are building.
Now, just before you go, now that you've petitioned the president, did you give any timelines for him to act upon this petition?
Yes, please. Actually, after the demonstration on Friday, per the press statement, we actually gave a 4 weeks timeline, that after 4 weeks, if we haven't heard anything, the authorities that are supposed to act will visit their premises with a demonstration to ensure that this problem is solved. And the National Union of Ghana Students, the Ghana Union of Professional Students, and all and the other sister institutions in Ghana are all in support, because where this filling station is sited is very, very risky. And UPSA is not a so large institution whereby when this problem happens, so many students will not be affected. But the university campus is very small, and the lecture block is so close to this filling station that when anything happens, the entire Ghana will be in danger, because we have so many students from all angles of Ghana, from all regions and from all towns in Ghana, having to study in UPSA.
Well, thank you very much, Justice, for your time. Justice Gaduga is the president of the Students Representative Council of the University of Professional Studies. You're still watching Midday Live from the News Hub. In other news, governmental agencies which do not comply with the use of the GIFAMIS as the only payment platform in government transactions will be sanctioned. Deputy Finance Minister Kweku Kwatin gave the warning at a workshop in Accra.
The Ghana Integrated Financial Management Information System, GIFAMIS, was introduced in September 2009 as part of the public financial management reforms in Ghana. The system is jointly managed by the Controller and Accountant General's Department and the Finance Ministry. The system is expected to facilitate government's processing of consolidated funds by the ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs, in an attempt to improve transparency in public finance management. Currently, 60 MMDAs, the 4 teaching hospitals and 54 institutions who internally generate their funds are enrolled on the system. A Deputy Finance Minister, Kweku Kwatin, says MMDAs which do not comply with the directive will be sanctioned.
The fact remains that even if we were able to collect as much revenue as we want, and the wastage continues, and the budget overruns continue, so that you have unplanned deficits, it was going to hurt the public purse generally, and it's going to impact our ability to roll out the interventions that we have to in order to address the concerns of the poor.
Controller and Accountant General Eugene Ofusuhini is optimistic his outfit will meet the 2018 deadline to enroll all MMDAs onto the system.
You cannot roll out a huge, massive project of this nature at a go. That is why it has taken us this time. But gradually we will get there. 2018 is a benchmark, and we believe that by that time we would have rolled out to all the MMDAs.
A total of 216 governmental agencies are expected to be enrolled onto the system by the end of next year.
We have more news coming up shortly. To stay with us. To Nanekwa Mensa Abrampa. Nanekwa, over to you.
Right, so following notice or directive from the LPG Marketing Companies Association of all LPG gas filling stations shutting down, we have been doing our roving checks since morning, starting from the Labadi area, La Beach Road, about 3 gas filling stations there. Our first stop was at the World Gas LPG filling station, where interestingly, business was briskly ongoing. Workers were cashing in and customers were trooping in as usual. The workers are telling me that they haven't had any directive or notice from their boss to stop selling, but their boss is in a crunch meeting, perhaps with the association, in anticipation of the closure of their gas filling station for maintenance works as directed by the association. Our next stop was at Sim Oil. Whilst there it was closed. Well, when we visited Sim Oil, the whole place was closed. They are telling me that there's no gas and they are still waiting for gas. That is what they claim. And then we visited the Guel LPG gas filling station, where business is also briskly ongoing. They tell me they haven't received any notice. And currently we are at Go Gas LPG filling station. The owner tells me, who has refused to speak to us on camera, but she tells me that the numbers have increased. Perhaps they've heard the news that the gas filling stations or LPG stations will be shutting down for maintenance. So they are trooping in more. The numbers have increased to make sure their cylinders are filled for cooking as well as other activities. So that is the current situation here. I'm sure you'll be getting some answers from the association as to reasons why the directive has not been carried out as expected from the notice they gave us that it should take effect from Wednesday. So I must say the sun is rather a bit on the high, can fry an egg. So that would do for this report. My name is Nanekwa Mensa Abrampa, coming to you live from Kaukudi.
Thank you very much, Nanekwa Mensa Abrampa, for that update. You're still watching Midday Live from the News Hub. Coming up, international news. In this segment, a senior member of Kenya's Electoral Commission, Rosalind Akombe, has resigned, saying the country is unable to hold credible elections next week. Rosalind Akombe said the IEBC was under political siege, unable to reach consensus or take any decisions. Now in the U.S., she told the BBC she had feared for her safety while in Kenya after receiving numerous threats. Ms. Akombe said commissioners and other IEBC personnel were facing intimidation by political actors and protesters. Let's now go on the phone line and speak with Emmanuel Yegon. He is a freelance journalist in Kenya. And Emmanuel, how are citizens reacting to the news of Rosalind's resignation and her fleeing Kenya to the U.S.? Hello, Emmanuel. Emmanuel was asking, how are citizens in Kenya reacting to news of Rosalind Akombe's resignation and her fleeing to the U.S.?
Well, there have been a lot of reactions here and there. People are saying, people are now questioning the credibility of the commission and whether we are going to have elections on the 26th of October. So it's just mixed reactions here and there. Others are accusing her of, siding with one side of the collision, one side of the political divide. Others are just making, assumptions now and making conclusions that there could have been problems in the commission, and that even if there were elections on the 26th, and then they will not be free, fair, and credible.
Oh. In her interview with the BBC, she did indicate that the elections cannot be credible. Is that the feeling you are getting back home?
Well, that is what she said, and according to what people are saying right now, you know, I cannot really establish what the situation is, but there is a response that has been made by the IEBC chairman a few hours ago, responding to now the resignation by Akombe, and also stating the position of the commission.
Well, thank you very much. Emmanuel Yegon is a freelance journalist in Kenya. Coming up, we have entertainment news.
Entertainment news is brought to you by
Nigerian singing sensation Simi has added her voice to the ongoing debate on the influence Ghanaian music has had on the contemporary Nigerian sound. In an exclusive interview with Solis Rose Quarty, the singer also cleared the air about her relationship status.
Joromi, I want you to love me. Joromi, baby. Joromi, Joro.
Simisola Bolatito Ogunleye is her birth name, but most music lovers know her simply as Simi.
Mr. Easy got into a bit of trouble when he talked about the fact that Ghanaian music had influenced greatly Nigerian sound. What's your take on that?
We all rub off on each other, do you understand? Now you see a Nigerian person doing like an R&B song, and now you see like, you know, Americans, Drake doing like an Afrobeat song. I don't think it's about somebody's jacking something, somebody's not jacking. It's art, it's beautiful art. So we're all just, you know, we're rubbing off on each other, and we're all learning something from different cultures. I don't know if I have a favorite in Ghana right now, but I was hearing about Sina, so I haven't listened to her stuff yet, but I heard she's really good. Like 3 people mentioned her to me yesterday, so I definitely am looking forward to listening to her as well.
On a media tour across the country to promote her new self-titled album, the singer, who doubles as a professional sound engineer, was coy about her relationship status.
Okay, alright. Okay. Definitely my relationship has my love life. I don't take it for granted. I mean, it's I'm not gonna say who, by the way, but we've been together for a while, and it's special to me because it's special.
The album Simisola has mouth-watering singles, including 2016 hit song Love Don't Care and the latest banger, Joromi.
Joromi, I want you to love me, Joromi, baby. Hey guys, my name is Simi, and TV3 is 20 years old. Happy birthday, TV3. So Joro, baby, take my number. Take my number. You know you can call me later.
Simi over there. That's it for Midday Live. Thanks so much for your company. My name is Portia Gabo. Good afternoon.